Everybody wanted to bump into you, meet you, holler at you, get at you, all that. And I was there. I was there too. Like I got to bump into Vivica somewhere. Like you calling your personnel, your people that's working with you. Come on, man, get me on the set. I just need to meet her. Straight up.
And to be honest with you, Dion, the only time I remember seeing you was at a party.
Right.
Going down some steps.
That's right.
Quickly past me.
I'm telling you the truth. I wanted to get at you. I wanted. I did. Mm-hmm. I really did. I never bumped into her nowhere.
No, that is true. That is true. But you know,
I want y'all to understand something. Now, Prime is saying, I wanted to get at you. I wanted to get at you. That has nothing to do with wanting to wife her up or anything. Prime wanted to smash. Why? Because if you were at the top of your game, Viv was smashable.
Tell us the truth.
All right, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, a.k.a. Dr. BOA. Yeah, I got time today. Primetime Deion Sanders is one of the most beloved figures in sports right now, just in our society. Just when you see the way he interacts with his kids, man, his sons, his daughters, it's a beautiful thing to see. So whatever you want to say about it, you can't say that it's not a pleasing sight to see the way that man interacts with his boys and how they listen to him so much and how they still respect him enough to know that they can't use profanity around him because he'll call them on it. They still respect him enough to listen to him, to take his advice on everything. And that's rare, man. That's rare because a lot of times a woman will be able to poison the kids enough while they're with her where you got to tear down a bunch of walls and sometimes the relationships are ruined forever. Then you have Vivica A. Fox, who was a hot toddy around the same time Primetime was at every party. They're going to have a conversation in this clip and she's going to unwittingly tell us that she tried to live the Primetime life when they were young, but now we see the results of both. While Prime is thriving, she's striving to find something that she'll never be able to find. Peace, love, and a masculine man who's willing to wife her up. But let's take a listen to this clip, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Everybody wanted to bump into you, meet you, holler at you, get at you, all that. And I was there. I was there too. Like I got to bump into Vivica somewhere. Like you calling your personnel, your people that's working with you. Come on, man, get me on the set. I just need to meet her. Straight up.
And to be honest with you, Dion, the only time I remember seeing you was at a party.
Right.
Going down some steps.
That's right.
Quickly past me.
I'm telling you the truth. I wanted to get at you. I did. Mm-hmm. I really did. I never bumped into her nowhere.
No, that is true. That is true. But you know,
I want y'all to understand something. Now, Prime is saying, I wanted to get at you. I wanted to get at you. That has nothing to do with wanting to wife her up or anything. Prime wanted to smash. Why? Because if you were at the top of your game, Viv was smashable. That's why Viv don't have no kids. Because Viv was smashable. That's why Joy Taylor don't have no kids. Because Joy Taylor is smashable. When you look at these women out here, man, and they came up through the ranks, they were smashable. You can tell they were smashable. You look at all the men they dated, and I'm going to be honest with you, brother. Y'all can say what y'all want to say, and y'all can believe there ain't no dating and mating going on in them situations, man. Y'all crazy. If it's some dating going on, it's some mating going on. That's just how it is. When you got money like that, man, you ain't just got to be hanging out with no chick, man. Bro, if a chick come around you, she already know what time it is. I mean, you may drop her a few dollars or whatever, man, but she already know what time it is. That's just how it is. And, you know, Vivica has a history of being one of those type of women, but let's keep listening.
I want to tell you just how proud I am of you and your accomplishments.
Thank you.
To see the man that you've matured into more than anything else is what I'm the proudest of.
I appreciate it.
Because back in the day, you know, we was both in our zone doing our thing.
Now, back in the day, we were both in our zone doing our thing. This woman admits that she was in her zone doing her thing. And she's proud of the man he's become. Here's the problem with her and him. He's got kids because he had a wife. Now, it didn't turn out the way he wanted to, and he can't stand the woman now. But it turned out the way he wanted to. And you may say, how do you know he can't stand her? Take a look at this. Got the hell on away from her, right? You ain't going to see them two in the picture together no more ever. Unless one of them laid up in the bed or laid up in the coffin and the other one there. And even that might not happen. So when you look at a situation like this, you got to remember the way a woman chooses to live her life when she's young, she is going to affect her differently than it does a man. A man can whore around all he want to in his 20s, even his 30s, and then decide he going to settle down and be good. And come out of that, be good. You know what I'm saying? Possibly have, multiple other opportunities to have a wife, because if you're a man and you establish yourself, you're going to be able to get a wife. A woman, it don't matter how you establish yourself. When your youth fades, you're not going to be able to have what you want to have. Now, they'll brag about it, as we'll see later on.
Hey there. So I'm just driving home from work and I just realized, I was just thinking about it. I have not been touched by a man in over 6 years. And I mean touched in that way.
She has not been touched by a man in over 6 years. Now, she says that like it's something to brag about. But when you're an older woman, that's not something to brag about. You ain't been touched by a man in 6 years because there ain't that many men that want to touch you. Not men that you want. Man, when a woman gets to a certain age, the only option she has is really overweight men or men who have nothing and they're trying to live off of her. A woman at a certain age does not have the options that she once did. And so it's a whole lot easier for her to be celibate for 6 years. You want to impress me? Find me the 20-year-old woman that's celibate for, well, the woman who started celibacy at 20 years old and now she's 26 and she's been celibate for 6 years. Find me that woman. Find me the woman who is 26 and she ain't been with nobody ever yet. Find me the woman that was active out there when she was younger and now from 25 to 30, she ain't been with nobody. Find me that woman. I don't want to hear from no woman, man, her age. But you say, well, how you know how old she is, WOA? You don't know. Let's listen to her tell how old she is.
And a lot of people will say, oh, it's probably by choice. It is, but it's also not. I don't know what's going on. It's very difficult to date. And
here's why it's very difficult to date for a woman like her. She's aged out of dating. Like nobody's trying to court a woman her age. Nobody's trying to court a woman her age. If you want to do anything with a woman her age, it's like first date smash or a pass. If we ain't smashing first date, I'm dashing. First date smash and dash. She can't get no call back. She can't get no, ain't nobody finna chase her. Even guys who chase women are not gonna chase an older woman. An older woman. That's just how it is, man.
When you don't want to deal with a lot of bullshit anymore, it's even harder. So, it's just come to my attention that like, wow, not at all. Not even a little hug. Haven't kissed anybody since I got the dentures. Okay. Haven't had a tongue kissing since I got these babies.
Now I want y'all to understand something. Here's a woman who has dentures. That belies her age. This woman has got to be maybe 60. Now, I'm going to be granted now, she doesn't look bad to be a 60-year-old woman. She doesn't look bad for 60. She doesn't even really in America, she doesn't look bad for 55, 60. But when you think about it, here's a woman who's gotten dentures. What does dentures represent? Dentures represent that she didn't take care of her oral hygiene. That's what that represents. When you got to go get dentures, people don't just get their teeth pulled out, healthy teeth pulled out to get dentures, right? When you have dentures, it's because you didn't take care of your oral hygiene and it was better for you just to put 2 racks of fake ones in there. No problem with that. People do it all the time. No one cares. But when you're at this point in life, you got to understand that your options have been limited for the past 20 years. Now your options are almost non-existent. So it's not surprising that she ain't kissed nobody since she got her dentures. It ain't surprising that she ain't been touched by a man in 6 years. It's not surprising because there are options out here for men who, if you want to chase a woman and you're willing to pay, which most chasers are, you could get something younger, prettier, thicker, softer, and just more exciting than her. And I'm not saying she's a bad woman. I'm saying this is a bad time for her to be a demanding woman of her age. Like when you're her age, you can't be demanding. I'm not saying you can't have a standard, but you can't be demanding. Like have your standard, but if you have your standard and the man meets it, then you better understand that ain't nobody finna try to, nobody that you're gonna meet is gonna likely be trying to wife you up or be in anything long term, unless you're willing to accept the fact that just like younger women understand this, you're gonna have to have an older man. You're gonna have to have an older man, and the problem is these women don't want to accept the fact that they age out of younger men, that they age out of richer men, that they age out of stable men, that they age out of masculine men, that they age out of active men way before they think they do. And it's a travesty because there's a window of time between 35 and 45, maybe even 50, where a woman who took care of herself is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Man, there are some women between 35 and 50 that are fine, bro. They are fine, but they're also older. And fine at 35 ain't the damn same as fine at 25. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, it's just not the same.
Why do older men in their 40s and beyond prefer dating women in their 20s? And why don't they choose women their own age?
Because women our own age don't have the things we like in a woman. If you're 50 years old, 9 times out of 10, a woman that's 50 is either menopausal or premenopausal. A man that's 50 may still want a kid or kids. You just never know. A man may still want kids. There are men who are having kids older than that because a man never loses his gift to reproduce, but a woman does. Also, a woman that's in her 50s or 40s, she's probably just doesn't look her best anymore. And you may say, well, the man don't look his best either. He don't have to look his best. He just had to be financially situated. That's all. He don't have to look his best. If he's financially situated, then I mean, if he can provide and protect, he good. That's our job. Our job ain't to look good. Now, if you get a man to provide and protect and look good, you feel like you hit the jackpot. Cool. But that's not what we have to do. Thirdly, a woman that's in her 40s and 50s, she believes she deserves more than she does. She's 50 years old, still trying to get the things she got in her 20s, still trying to get the things she got in her 30s, but she doesn't deserve those things. The 20-year-old version of her, the 30-year-old version of her does. And you may say, well, it's the same for men. Well, most men are broke in their 20s. So as we get older, we become more valuable as the providers and protectors we're supposed to be. As you become older, you become less valuable as the spry, young, fertile planting ground that you're supposed to be. That's just life. But let's finish.
Can someone explain this to me? Because it doesn't make any sense at all. Why do you go for someone the same age as your daughter? I mean, 15?
Now I want you to see how she just moved the goalpost. She said in her 20s. Now she's saying 15. But this is the type of things, this is the toxicity of the woman's mind. She'll say, men dating women in their 20s, which is legal. And then she'll turn it into this. Now you're going underage. But this is just what women do. This is what women do, bro. Here's a woman who's upset that she didn't capitalize on the man that she should have when she was young. And now that she's older, she's hating on the women who do. She's not hating on men because what she says about men doesn't matter. She's irrelevant when it comes to her opinion of men, but she's hating on the women. She's not saying, why do men choose these women? She's saying, why do these women get all of the stable men, all of the established men, all of the wealthy men, all of the healthy men, all of the loving men, all of the caring men, all of the sharing men, all of the masculine men? That's what she's saying. But it wouldn't be an attack on masculinity to say it that way. So she has to say, why do these men choose these women? Here's the real thing. These men don't choose those women. Those women choose these men. These men accept their proposal and let them come into their lives. That's why it is. That woman appreciates what she's getting for the most part, unless you're dealing with scallywags. Otherwise, it's just a match made in heaven for an OG to have a young tender.
And you're 40?
Like, because a fat bitch can fuck your nigga.
For sure.
Like, I know a bitch ain't gonna be like, because most girls who get cheated on, it don't be a bitch who look better than them. Maybe a bitch who's more submissive, more quiet, more chill. Like, she's just more, like, she's just not with all the fucking drama, bitch. You nag too much. Yeah.
Now, and I want y'all to understand something. What she's saying makes a lot of sense, and it's in direct response to this last chick. Yes, we want a woman that's more submissive. Who's more submissive? A younger woman tends to be more submissive. Once we eliminate the ghetto hood rats out of that, when I talk, well, I'm never talking about them. If I'm talking about them, I expressly say hood rats. When I talk about women, I'm never talking about rats. I'm never even talking about women like her, who's talking right now. I don't deal with women like that. Here's what I'm saying. Younger women are indeed more submissive. And what they say is we like younger women because they can be more easily manipulated. No, they're not more easily manipulated. They just don't have as many scars as you have and always trying to have up these walls and always being combative and always feel like they're being attacked and always trying to defend themselves and always trying to offend you and doing all of that extra shit. But we don't want none of that. That's not what we come for. Man, listen, if I'm going to be providing and protecting, I want a woman, man, give me some shut up and obedience. And the problem is, once a woman hit a certain age, she ain't going to shut up and she ain't going to obey. That's just the way it is, brothers.
And damn, I realized I was nagging too much one time. I said, damn, this nigga cheating. You know, when you ask yourself, like, why a nigga cheat? And then you realize, fuck, I did it.
Yo, I think I didn't find my husband because I think he intimidated to approach me or he's scared to come out. Like, come out wherever you are. You don't gotta have $1 million. We don't gotta live a high life. I don't care about none of that. You don't gotta buy me Birkin bag, Chanel bag, none of that. I'm cool with a Michael Kors bag. Truly. Like, I don't care about none of that. All these girls putting stipulations on what they expect in these relationships. You don't gotta make millions of dollars, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, just enough to financially take care of us.
Let me ask y'all something. I want somebody to look this up for me and find out if she used to date Shaq. Because if she did, all this is a woman saying what she thinks men want to hear. But the truth of the reality of the situation is, man, we don't care nothing about none of this. Like, we could care less about this. The reality is, when you were young and in your prime, did you feel this way? Yes, of course, now at this age, you realize all the ballers you had, none of them wanted to wife you up. Now you're trying to fool some sucker into believing that you like him by talking all this foolishness right here. You ain't got to have this. You ain't got to have that. You ain't got to buy me this. You ain't got to buy me that. All you got to do is love me. Come on, shawty. What you talking about? This don't even make sense. When you get to the point where you can't even come onto a camera without a bunch of makeup on, when you get to the point where you can't even come in front of a camera without a filter on, when you get to the point where you can't even get the type of man that you wanted to get anymore, same thing with Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner old now. When it comes to those girls who actively be pursuing ballers, there's girls out there 21, 22, 23, 20. There's young girls out there and you can't compete with that. I don't care how good you look. When you 35, it don't matter how good you look. There's a young girl out there 24 that I don't care, even with body enhancements, you can't even get close to her. So if you're going to live a life where you do what you can do based on your body, if you do that, then you're going to end up like this, trying to convince some sucker that you learned the error of your ways.
You fall, don't worry, I got you. Like, I want us to be 50-50, but like, don't fall too crazy. But like, if you fall, I got you. Make enough where we can go on a trip every few years. Love on my body, know my body inside and out. Like, don't be scared to approach me. I do not need to be living a high life. I turn down the people that live a high life every day because they don't meet my love, my loyalty, none of that. I'm cool. Ain't no Birkin bag, ain't no Chanel bag gonna keep me around. The way you love me is gonna keep me around. I'm gonna spend all your money and then not be happy, and then what? I'm not gonna want to be your wife if you're not treating me right. I don't care how much money you spending. I don't care what bag you buy me. I'm cool with a Michael Kors bag from a man that actually love me. So come on wherever you are, babe, please.
Now, let me tell y'all something, brothers. I want to ask y'all a question, a real question. Out of all this she's talking, what the hell is she offering you? I just want to ask that. What is she offering you? See, a lot of times you get out here and you hear this woman telling you that she'll accept you. She'll accept you for who you are. She'll accept you. And you're so used to not being accepted and not loving yourself and not caring about yourself that you'll let a woman tell you and convince you that her accepting you should make you feel good about yourself. But what is she willing to contribute to that? Let me tell you something. If a woman views you as a valuable man, and this is what she's saying, don't worry about the ballers. I don't want them. I want a man. You can make less, but as long as you this and you this and you this and you this, pretty much as long as you're a sucker for me, as long as you're a panderer, as long as you do whatever makes me happy, as long as you believe happy wife, happy life, then come on my way. But what is she offering you besides a used up box? and a whole bunch of spiritual connection to all the men that she's been with before. What I'm telling you, men, is y'all got to start having a standard that's based on something other than beauty. You got to have a standard that's based on a woman's moral fiber, on a woman's moral compass. You got to have a standard that's based on something more than just how much fun you think you can have with a woman in the sack. Because if a woman don't find you attractive, you ain't gonna even enjoy her in the sack. You're going to be doing the same thing you could do with Mama Palmer and her 5 daughters. You understand me? So it don't even make sense to go for this foolishness, man. Stop going for it. Stop going for it, man. Because it's a lie. Everything she's saying is a lie. She's telling you what she'll accept, not what she wants. And if she does want it, it's because she's so ran through mentally, spiritually, physically, and maybe even financially, that she just needs a soft landing spot. And you know what happens when you give a woman a soft landing spot? She lands, she recovers, and she blasts back off again. Maybe to the streets, maybe to the globe, maybe to the Milky Way.